Greetings, I am nothing, nobody, a resident of the Felinoid channel, and you can call me Felinoid. I want to just talk about what BBSs were like back in the day. I don't think they'll ever be like this again, but this is just kind of a historical perspective from my perspective of what BBSs were like way back in the 80s. Basically, one thing about BBSs back in the day is that you were only given a certain amount of time, depending upon how popular the BBS is or how popular the system operator thought the BBS was, and how important you were to the BBS, or at least how important the sysop thought you were to the BBS, and that. So basically, the limitation is due to every time somebody's using the BBS, they're tying up a line. Most BBSs only having one phone line, and originally all of them had only one line. All right, multi-line BBSs were a thing of the late 80s and 1990s onward. So and basically these phone lines, they do cost money, all right? You do have to pay for each phone line. So every single connection, the system operator is paying a monthly fee to have that connection. So they can't have a whole lot of them. So to justify the cost, basically, you're given a limited amount of time on the BBS, and once you're done, you're off. So here's how the users of BBSs handled that. You have this long list of BBSs, and most of us had this terminal program, a type of terminal program that would allow us to take a long list of BBSs and just import them into the system, and then it would just call each one after the other. And we put like the popular ones at the top and the not so popular at the bottom. Then it would go down the list, and each time it would hit a busy signal, it would go to the next BBS, and then keep going like that until it would get a clear signal. And then you log in, you use the BBS, you read the messages, you post your posts, typically just one long post. And if that BBS has online games, you play your games, you're done for the day. You don't have any more time left on that BBS. So you log out. That gets pulled off your list. You don't get to call it back until the next day. And then you go back through the list until you get to another BBS that is free. You just keep going through it. At the very bottom of the list are the low priority or the low popularity BBSs, the ones you personally like the least. And the advantage here is, well, if they're not very popular, then there's not many people calling them. So if you go through the list and eventually reach the bottom, you're probably going to hit one of the unpopular BBSs and at least get your chance to go through and read the messages. Maybe you don't want to post because it's not popular, but just read the messages, see what's going on there, pick up your email, and do your thing, and then be done with that BBS, and then it's off the list. And that's basically how the BBS world was. Now the advantage here is, one, that the more popular a BBS is, the harder it is to connect to it, and the more people are actually, new users are discouraged from trying. Yeah. Whereas with the internet, the more popular a website is, the more you want to stay on the popular sites. Also, if a BBS is doing things that make it, that discourage you from interacting with the BBS, then, well, Screw them. You have no, you have no ties to that BBS. You have no particular need to stay on a particular BBS. So basically, if a specific BBS is being a total dick, you're done for the day. You're gone. You don't use that BBS again. So basically, you get a choice, and you get to pick the BBSs you want to stay on, and the ones that won't let you speak, that tell you, well, you're Satan or you're Hitler, pulling social justice stunts. Those are the ones you want nothing to do with. You're done with them. Go to another BBS. Okay. The ones that sit and push an agenda or push an agenda that is different from your own, you don't want to be on. This would cause the unpopular opinions, the social justice ideology, to these small BBSs, the few, and the rest of us will be on the rest of them. But that's basically it. All right. When a BBS tries to craft a narrative, you leave it. Basically, that's one advantage. All right. I don't know that that's going to be the case now, because a lot of people can just call BBSs via Telenet. Well, Telenet's a little different because you have essentially unlimited connections, just like a website. So a lot of BBSs today don't seem to have a time limit. So I don't know how that's going to affect things moving forward. Maybe that's only related to Telenet, and that's going to still affect your dial-up connection. I don't know. I can only guess.